Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing something a little bit different. I guess I'm starting like a new series. I'm calling it, what am I calling it? Mental health and makeup, or makeup and mental health. A lot of variety there. Does one sound better than the other? I don't know. Basically, I'm Ashley. Hi, I don't think I said that. If you're new, hello. I'm Ashley. I'm a social worker full-time, and I'm a makeup artist on the side. So I love the idea of combining those two things, which is, my big idea for this channel is that it will incorporate all of that. But I've never really talked about mental health before on here. So I thought this is a perfect opportunity to talk about goals and New Year's resolutions and my honest take on it from both my perspective as a mental health professional and personally, and how I deal with goals or don't deal with them. I'm doing my makeup in this video. It's kind of like a get ready with me video. I just do my makeup. I don't talk about the makeup. I'm just doing it while I chat to you, mostly while I ramble to you, if we're being honest. It might be a little jumpy. I am not a verbal processor, and so it was just hard for me to get out what I was trying to say. I ramble a lot, so hopefully I edit it in a way that makes sense. If you want to know what products I'm using, I've put in the description box below. Otherwise, you won't hear me talk about makeup the rest of this video. That's probably it. Yeah. Now to hear me ramble about something else. Thanks for watching, guys. New Year's resolutions, goals for a new year. That's what I want to talk about today. As a social worker, everything we do is based in goals. Oh, look at those big old pimps. Maybe we'll cover those first. Whatever it is, we operate from a goal standpoint. So I'm very familiar with goals. Personally, though, I have a really hard time applying that to my life. I can't even think of a time I've done this. I think maybe I tried last year where I had a New Year's resolution and it lasted more than a few days. I want to talk about this because it is something I struggle with. Even though goals are so ingrained in my work and what I do as a social worker, it is really hard for me to personally have a goal and work towards it and be consistent. And so I wanted to talk about that from my own personal standpoint of, hey, any normal year, goals are hard for me. New Year's resolutions are like kind of triggering for me. Triggering in that it like offends me. Like, I don't need to work on anything. I'm fine. I like to deny things a lot. Additionally, the next layer is that we are all living through a collective crisis right now, and we all acknowledge and realize how awful 2020 was, and some people, myself included, don't even realize the depths of how awful this year has been for so many people. We're all in different places, and so I am not in a place right now where I can make a New Year's resolution, because for me, I can't think about next year in its entirety. And honestly, that's kind of why I'm making the video, is to encourage you also not to not make a New Year's resolution, but don't think about making a year's resolution. We have no idea what next year is going to bring. This is so different than any other year, and I think the best thing that I can do for myself, and maybe you can do for yourself, is to take baby steps. Because if we are like, well, this 2020 was awful, so 2021 is going to be the best year ever, I think that's setting ourselves up for disappointment and failure, potentially, because we just don't know what's going to happen. We saw that this year with COVID. We have no idea what's going to happen in the next year. And so let's take baby steps. Let's take baby steps to take care of our basic human needs. And so that is kind of my goal. If I had to make a New Year's resolution, which I really don't want to label it as that, it would be to just take care of myself. And so I really want to work on my mental health and my physical health. With that being said, I'm not even doing my makeup at all. One second, let me put my foundation on and then I can get back to it. I look like a ghost. Let's get some eyebrows on there. I might be sounding pessimistic. I like to think of myself as realistic and not pessimistic. When we do goals, I'm sure most of you have heard this before. You want to create SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. I want to be realistic when I'm coming up with these goals, and also know myself, know yourself. If you're someone that can say, if you're like, I want to read a book a week and you haven't been reading for months, but you know yourself and you know that once you set a goal, you can stick to it, go for it. That's great. I know myself. And if I don't already have a habit set up, I cannot just flip a switch and do it. I can do it for a few days and I feel great about myself, and then I'm going to miss a day, and I'm going to miss 2 days, and I'm going to miss 3 days, and I'm going to be like, what's the point anymore? And I give up. And I know that that is very common for a lot of people that set New Year's resolutions. But at the same time, I know I'm in a place where I can set a goal. I can challenge myself right now. And so I'm going to challenge myself, but I'm going to do it in a way that's realistic. And throughout the whole thing, giving myself grace to, one, either mess up, which is relative. 2, I'm going to give myself grace if I am not meeting the standards that I've set for myself. And I'm also going to allow myself to change my goals if I need to. I cannot do my eyebrows and talk at the same time, obviously. Okay. 1, done, basically. Just going to move on. I spend way too much time on my eyebrows. What was I saying? I don't think it's a bad thing to have goals. In fact, I think it's a very good thing to have goals. But we're living in a crisis, and it's okay if goals are not on the table for you right now. I think that if I set some goals for myself, it will improve my mental health. And so I'm going to do that. I am not going to make a New Year's resolution because I think it is silly to think about next year in a whole year, because we have no idea what next year is going to look like. If this was a typical year, yeah, I could set some, I would set some goals, but we just don't know what we're up against. And I don't want the disappointment of me not reaching my goals to be another thing that bums me out next year. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me do my other eyebrow. I'm just going to share with you what I've done the past few days, like how I've decided to make my goals. When I think about New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, whatever, of course, the question is, okay, what do I want to improve on? How do I want to make myself better in this next year? Which is a great question to ask. The problem is, when I start to think about that, I have an extremely long list. So I wrote it down. Because yesterday I was thinking, okay, what do I want my goal to be? Here we go. Here are just some of them that I've written down, and I've thought of more since then. Exercise 5 days a week. Enjoy running. Eat healthier foods. Have a cleaner apartment. Get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Read every night before bed. Drink more water. Spend less time on social media. Journal every day. Save more money. Move to a bigger place. Be more organized. Work towards my LCSW license. And that's just some of it. Like, that doesn't even include my work goals. Anyways, so I look at that list and I'm immediately overwhelmed. And it's easy to think, oh, wow, girl, you got a lot to work on. Like, you are a mess. Which in reality, I'm not. I'm just a human that, like... We're all humans that can all be working towards things, right? So it's easy for me to look at that list and be like, okay, too much to work on. I'm not going to work on any of it. I made this list, and then I thought big picture. I was like, okay, what do I really want to see improved next year? I don't want to have too many goals. Like, I just listed my whole list, and that is overwhelming to me to think of all those things. And so I really want to pare it down. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but the different approach I'm taking this year, instead of having a New Year's resolution, which I've done before, I am going to have a goal for January, and that's it. And at the end of January, I'm going to reassess, and I'm going to decide if I want to keep working towards that goal, if I want to change that goal, or if I want to work towards something else. And I don't know why I've never thought of it like that before. I don't know why we don't all think of it like that. Like, why do we have to have all this pressure for a whole year? It seems silly to me, like, now that I think about it, because having a year-long goal is possible. It's not impossible, but for most of us, I'll just speak for myself. For me, it's almost impossible to keep up that kind of momentum because life is unpredictable, and I don't think that's fair to ourselves. I think we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment. I know I would set myself up for disappointment. I don't want to speak for everybody. So I'm just going to do a goal for January, and then we're going to reassess. Maybe I'll come on here once a month and talk about my goal and where I'm at. And that will hopefully keep me a little bit accountable. And that's another thing, accountability. I really hate telling people what I'm working on because then they're going to ask me about it. And I tend to give up on things. And I don't want people to ask me about my goals because, and so I usually don't tell people because I don't want them to know, so that when I fail or when I quit, I won't feel guilty for that. That's obviously not healthy. Like, that's not helpful for myself, but it's what I've done in the past. It is what it is. So I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm going to share this goal, obviously with you all, but also with my husband, and who's wonderful and encouraging. And I would encourage you too, if you are going to set a goal for yourself, I would encourage you to share with an accountability partner, whether that's a partner, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, a best friend, a sister, a brother, a parent. Make sure that your accountability partner is not going to shame you. No one needs that. Tough love works for a lot of people, but there's a difference between tough love and shame. And I'm a firm believer that shame is never the way to really get to someone and to change your behavior. Make sure, one, for yourself, that you are not talking to yourself that way, but also whoever your accountability partner is that they're going to encourage you and support you when it's hard and say, hey, I get it. This is really hard. How can I help you through it? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, you screwed up. You suck. You know what I mean? It's hard to talk when I'm doing this. What was I talking about? I don't remember what I was saying. When I'm looking at my list, like I was saying, what on that list is really going to make my day-to-day life better? For me, I think what I really need to start doing is moving my body. And so I want to try that goal again because I did feel great last year when I was exercising, but I want to make it really easy and attainable, but it's also, I know it's going to challenge myself. So what it is my goal for January is to walk outside for 15 minutes, 6 days a week. I'll give myself a day off. But I really want to get outside every day. For some of you, that might be crazy that I don't go outside. But we just don't. We don't have a dog, we don't have kids, it's just us. You know, it's easy to stay inside. But I know how good it is for me. And I crave it. So that's my goal for January. You know, I don't know if every month is gonna be a health goal, but that's kind of what I'm excited about, is that this year has the potential for me to have a lot of goals that I really feel like I can accomplish because I'm making it really bite-sized. You know, I looked on YouTube before I filmed this because I wanted to know what other people were saying about 2021 goals. And a lot of what I saw was, this year is going to be so different. You know, 2020 sucked, it was hard. We're going to do a 180 and 2021 is going to be so different. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think 2021 is going to be that different. At least the first half of the year. Who knows where we're going to be 6 months from now, and I don't say that again to be pessimistic. I just say it to be realistic. Life is hard right now. It's really hard. And we don't need to add to that hardness by shaming ourselves into doing things that we aren't able to do right now. I am able to go outside for 15 minutes a day and walk with my husband. And if there are days where I can't, then I'm just not going to, and I'm not going to shame myself for that. If I miss a week, then I miss a week and we're going to move on. So I guess my whole point in this video with me rambling, sorry, I was processing through all of this as I was talking. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is our life is not going to change because it's 2021, but a new year is full of hope. And it's exciting, and it does give us a chance to start over and say, okay, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to do something new. And that's exciting. And so while I'm going to stay realistic and know that my world is not going to change just because it's 2021, I'm also going to look at this with hope and excitement for the possibility that it's going to be different. And when I come upon times that I can't, if work gets really overwhelming, you know, I work in a school full time and that is just a freaking poop show right now. If life gets too hard and I can't focus on that goal, I am also going to give myself grace and permission to do what I need to do to survive. And if that means not walking outside for 15 minutes in January or whatever, then that's okay. So I'm setting a goal. I'm going to tell my husband about it. I'm telling you about it. I'm serious. I want to try it. I want to work on my physical health and getting my body outside in the sun. But I'm also gonna let myself do what I need to do to survive this year. So I hope that makes sense. Let me do my other eye. I would love to hear your thoughts on how you feel about New Year's resolutions, on New Year goals, and if you want to do this with me on doing just a January goal. Join me. Let's try together. And if it becomes too hard, that's okay. all this to say, you can be two things at once, both and. You can be both hopeful for this new year and excited and want to improve, and you can be scared about what this year is bringing and nervous for what this year is bringing and anxious and all those things. So we can be hopeful and positive and at the same time be nervous for what's to come. And so I am doing that. I am hopeful that I can accomplish this January goal, and I'm nervous that I'm going to fail and that it's going to be really hard, but I'm supported. I have my husband, I have my family, I have you all, and I know that I'm going to be okay. I'm not even going to think past January because we just need to take this year in baby steps. And maybe you have a week goal. Maybe it's not even January. Maybe it's half of January until January 15th, or maybe it's the first week of January. Take advantage of this new year and the hope that a new year brings, and also show yourself grace and love, and do what is best for your body and for your mental health right now, whatever that looks like. I talked so much. I like talking about it. It's important to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment. I really want to hear from you guys, and let me know if you're going to join me in this January goal thing that I'm doing. I'm not even gonna name it because even that feels like too much pressure to me. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm excited to see what this year brings. I am gonna view it with hope and also a little nervousness, but mostly hope. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful January, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.